Hey everyone, Jim here from Razor's Edge, and I am now looking once again, at fishing North Atlantic. Um, I gave this a terrible review, just tutorial bugs, but I am a glutton for punishment. I will not be defeated. I figured I've conquered countless bugs, found the workarounds. Oops. And I know a lot of people have probably bought this game and just don't play it because of the bugs. Well, I found a lot of fixes and workarounds because honestly, there is a lot to this game. I mean, a lot, especially if you like commercial fishing. I like both commercial fishing and simulator, like fishing games like Ultimate Fishing. Ultimate Fishing was probably one of the best fishing simulators I ever played. Ultimate Fishing 2, you might as well just play fishing online for free. It's the exact same game and just as many god-awful headaches because they're both still early access. It's about the same time, 2022. So I'm going to show you the new boat that I have. We're going to take it out on the water. The bugs on all the boats are all the same. And I do have crew now, so we can cover some of those. And I can show you the good things of this game, and I'll show you the bad, and maybe how to work around some of them. So right now I'm running the Corrigan. I believe I'm pronouncing that right, Corrigan. There's all the stats on it, how many crew, I can have 2 crew. The initial storage size, all these can be upgradable. Then I've actually unlocked rigging for both. It starts with the long line rigging. And by the way, to the developers, thank God for crew, because those mini games in there are stupid. Point and click and cutting along the dotted line. That's just don't insult my intelligence. So having said that, when I have a crew, they do it all for me, so now I don't care anymore. Another thing, when you change rigging, it'll completely bug out your boat. The only way you can fix it, save the game, reload the game, come back in, and it'll all be working. When I first noticed, when I changed from long line fishing back to rigging for lobster for this boat, I bought the steel cages and I noticed there was wooden cages on there, so I knew something was wrong right off the bat. So anytime you're changing out equipment especially at least rigging, always save, restart the game, and you'll be good to go. That'll save you time and hassle of running around the boat figuring why you can't click on anything. The other thing I'll mention in this mode, when you do buy a new boat, make sure that you do the tutorial, because one, it fast travels and fast times, gives you a bunch of fish to sell, and it'll teach you where all the stations are at least as a minimum. I want to show you a couple of the ships that are available at this port. I am in Lundberg. It's the furthest port on the east side of the map. But it's got some pretty doggone nice ships here. If you've got around 30 million bucks. These things are huge. There's one of them. The Arctic Pioneer. I mean, these are beautiful looking boats. And then this guy, this just looks like a big, it doesn't even look like it should float. But I think my next ship is going to be the Arctic Pioneer. That's what I'm shooting for anyway. Because it's going to be a while before I get up to the Atlantic Catcher, which that to me is like the ultimate. It's pretty impressive. And I can't imagine with 8 crew on there and just running all the stations. Should be pretty nice. But at each dock, or let's go to the map real quick and I'll show you. Map. When you go out here to the map, and here I am up there, that's what I was talking about. When you go to each one of these ports and unlock them, You always want to check the shipyard just because they all have different ship types. So you'll want to check them all, figure out which one suits your needs. And then when you finally figure out what type of fishing you like, the nice thing is that I can actually rig boats depending on the price in the market for that particular period of time. Or I just run across an area where I just see a ton of fish. And that particular fish is, you know, really high on the market. Oh, that's another thing too, by the way. This is a really hot spot right out here for lobster. You can put a spotting out on the map yourself. You don't have to, because if you right click on these guys, these are tips from the bar, they go away. So I learned that the hard way. So there you have it. You can always put them back. The nice thing about the tips, though, it does show the direction that the fish were moving. So there's always that. All right, so I'm going to go out to sea. We're going to take a look at this boat in action with the crew. We'll talk a little bit about the crew and some of the things that they have. I am plotting or dumping steel pots out there, so I had to come back in. I sold the catch, and I left one out there. It's a new one. So we'll leave that there. We're going to go drop some more. I was thinking before I left the dock, I need to show you, or I feel like I should show you some of the other things in town when we're talking about crew, because I know my first video did not talk about that. These are the folks that are available for hire, what their rate is, that's actually their cut, and then the cost to hire them on board. They do gain levels. They all have certain specific skill levels preset, but those go up as they gain experience on your boat. Here's Mr. Rudy on my boat. He's gained a couple levels, and I can either rest him here, like if I'm switching ships, put him in there, then buy the new boat, switch the boat out, and then put him on the new boat. Crew house. Again, if you want to rest him at the crew house, that's when you see that you get the point. Now I can pull him back out. I can return him. Doesn't cost me anything. I don't know why I keep saying 18,000, but there's nothing there. You can also level them up here, but you have to pay cash for it. And I don't really. You have to do it. You do it for each of their stats, so it can get quite expensive, real quick. Yep. So I'll go to the next scene. Crap, I keep finding stuff I want to cover. When you do buy these bigger boats, there's always a chance that you'll forget to save. It just makes sense to insure the boat. There is a cost with that, but they do offer that insurance. It's there. I don't have it. I just save a lot, since you can save no matter where you're at. I did utilize the bank. I've got a $130,000 loan. I can almost pay that off. That was to purchase this ship. Plus I sold that starter ship. Let me go through before I skip time and make sure I covered everything. Oh yeah, services. Nope, not services. Sorry, back to the bar. Not just these tips that give you the locations of for either free or at a cost. There's missions. I think it's for all the ports, but when you first start a game out, there's a $50,000 mission. All I literally had to do is I had like 2 weeks to drive one day. What took me like one in-game day. It does turn off fast travel, but it was easy 50 grand. So and I think I said this in my other video, As far as upgrades for any of your ships, always get that autopilot. And I'll show you after the autopilot just why I did that. So, all right, now we will actually go out. All right, so we're out here at sea. One thing I want to mention before we start talking about autopilot, if any of you have a recommendation and you're watching this, I want to bring it up now just in case you get bored and drop off the video. If you have a single player, not single player, but either MM multiplayer or just a really good fishing game. I'm talking like fishing on the ground, fishing with the reel, either fly fishing, you know, casting, that either doesn't bait you into a bunch of DLC. Drop me a comment, because I'm, you know, whether it's on Steam or available someplace else that I don't know about. I really enjoy that, and the ultimate fishing, the single player, or multiplayer, those servers are dead, and nobody's playing their new one. So that's just a little tidbit, little asks of a favor. So as far as waypoints, I did set them up. I will tell you, if your boat is backwards and you set the AI up, they will crash into the dock. They're not very intuitive, or it's not very intuitive. So I'm going to go ahead and click that on. I've got it set to max speed. You can set whatever speed you want. It's nice if you're trolling and watching sonar to have it go to each waypoint. Let's go ahead and return. That'll kick him off. And I'm not going to sit here and bore you with all the travel, but I am just going to walk you real quick through this boat. It's not too bad. When it's set up for line fishing, it puts a conveyor belt across here. This is used in both the nets, the long nets, and for the lobster. This will actually pull the pods up. This is the work area. So crates go there. This goes over here, and when these are full and you close them, they store right here. The only difference between the starter boat, the fish actually has to be cut and prepped on this machine. You grab the bait from inside the freezer. It comes in these bundles, and you just literally slab it on there. The AI will do this for you as well, but that just loads up your bucket there, and it's good to go. And for whatever reason, you can't access the front of the boat. Okay, I'm gonna fast travel out to where we're gonna do some lobster, and I'm also gonna scout for some big schools of fish, and we'll be right back. And as I'm trolling out of here, coming out of the bay, you can see why I flagged this spot. There is a huge just trove of lobsters in this area. So this is where I've been setting all the pods. I usually come back with about 2,000 kilograms or more. It sells for about 30-40K. So it's not too bad. Short little jaunt, because the port's just right back there and you can fast travel anyway. So I kind of need to move that little marker over a little bit. But they literally go all the way out until this drops off into the deeper blue where waypoint 2 is. All right, so I cut off the engines because this is, I'm going to put some pots right out here before we go out and explore. I want to capture all these. So we're going to go ahead and bring up our crew. There he is right there. He can cook, which I assume that's going to be something when there's multiple crew. I never see him eat. But since it's already prepared, you don't want to drop him in that slot. We're going to put him in the bait and slot. He'll basically prep the pod for me. And then all I have to do is push a key. All right, so he's all ready. You can see now I just hit R. And out goes my pod. So then I can actually move forward, start planting a few of these. He'll start prepping the next one. You can see there's quite a few in this area, so. And they have to be a certain distance apart from each other. And just a note, the color on the pod, or the marker, the red means that they are not ready. There won't be any catch in it. Green is, or it's like a brown, means you're not gonna catch anything. Very rarely. And then green is okay. You can go pick them up. You're probably gonna get a catch. Maybe, maybe not. And then the blue symbol is that they're as full as they're gonna get, and you've got a limited time to go pick them up. So they do have a wiki page that explains some of that, and I will I'll link that in the comments if you're interested. So we're just trolling around in here. We're gonna drop a few of these. I'm gonna drop about, well, actually all of them, and then we'll be right back. All right, so I dropped 7. I think that's good enough for that area. I want to save the rest of these, the other half. When I get out into this deeper location, I want to see if there's any bigger schools out there. So obviously I'll have to come back and pick these up after I drop these off, and pass either a day, or I usually go like 24 hours, and then I'll come back and pick up the second half. So that's where I'm heading right now. We're heading out, just using the autopilot. I put him back into a resting. Can also have him repair just to work on his levels. He will scroll if there's damage to the boat. And also there's an indicator here on the health. So yeah, we'll pick this back up when I get out deeper into this. We're passing all that, where all my pods are already, as you can see, planted. So I'll go ahead. Yeah, I can't even drop. Yeah, I can drop one there. All right, now we're done. I'll keep hitting the key because every time I see a big pack like that, I just want to. And you can zoom in. I did buy an upgraded sonar to get deeper depths. So, all right, be right back.